But generally, I'm sticking with these three, like Bitcoin, Mental, and BNB. And so, um, yeah, like that's basically, and then like of these three, BNB has most upside because like I mean Bitcoin's like $1 trillion asset. BNB, well actually BNB has had a massive upside, but it's also run 2x, right? It's like 140 or like
Yeah.
170 bill FTV now, which is like not very cheap. Yeah, and so and Mental is like, you know, it's Bybit, so it's like it basically everything kind of lines up. I'm comfortable holding this.
Before we begin, I want to give a shout out to our new sponsor, SocialValue, an AI-powered investment research terminal with prop indices and a high-performing DEX on its own chain. Join its third research competition for a $100,000 prize pool by submitting on socialvalue.com or on bitclub.io, with an additional chance to win another $2,000 every 2 weeks. Yeah.
I'm in the
No,
office.
we're talking. Yeah, office. It's a beautiful office. You know, I should really go work there or something.
You should tell Arthur that. He'll be very happy to hear that.
Yeah. You guys drop some money on that office. It feels like.
Yeah.
But no, I know. I don't know. You guys okay with the liquidation cascade that we had? I don't know.
Yeah.
It's pretty rough
I mean,
out there.
Arthur's I'm sure everyone saw like Arthur was crashing out on the timeline against
Yeah.
Binance.
Yeah.
We're okay, but it's just like, you know,
It's annoying.
yeah, it's like this kind of things. Cause I mean, imagine if equities open green today, right? And like fucking,
Yeah.
dude, and it looks like it is opening green, right? And like, so
It is.
everyone just lost like 30 billion dollars for nothing, which is like crazy, right? Like, I mean,
Seriously.
that's just crazy if you ask me.
Yeah, when it happened, I slept very well. Like I didn't wake up for it. It was like 5 a.m. here, and like most of our book today is in equities. It's like Robinhood, it's like Metalfa, it's like actually Bitcoin and in stock formats. I didn't even feel it.
Yeah.
But I think guys got wrecked. Look, guys, GM, it's Kyle from Defiance here with us. We're gonna try something different today, and we're gonna talk about. I know you've been shilling MNT pretty hard. I just wanna, you know, I interviewed Emily. She didn't really tell us all that much, and you wrote a couple of really good long forms out there. So I want to just talk you through, kind of, you know. I also want to talk to you on a sooner side because it just kept pumping. And if we don't get this out soon enough, it's going to go to like $3 or $4 or something. So good to have you on.
Yes, thanks for having me, man. I'm a big
Yeah,
fan of Bit Club.
yeah. Thank you very much. Like, why don't you just tell us? You know, because I think the math kind of explains itself, but why don't we start off with this, which is what really changed between like 50, 60 cents and today? I know there's the announcement, but like, there's a reason they put out all of the news about deeper integration and we're really doing this. But like, what do you think really changed in the Ben and Yasi's psyche that pushed them, you know, doing this integration?
Um, I'd say the change is definitely more qualitative than quantitative when it comes to this. And the big change was definitely the power dynamics in Mantle. Like Ben fired I don't know if he fired, but basically there was a huge change of leadership, right? Helen and Emily, you talked to Emily, right?
Yeah,
Were instated as like the people at the top, and these are people from Bybit, who were made to come in and like, you know, lead the Mantle team. So I thought like it's also I don't know how to explain. Like this is kind of a very not quantitative thing, but it's like a Chinese like if you know how the Chinese operate, you know like this is like kind of a big power shift. And it really like I feel like it was like the starting pistol when like it sent people off to the races. And
yeah,
then you could tell that there was a real shift because like I wrote in the article, but this trade has been very infamous in Asian circles. Like this
yeah,
the exact same thesis. I remember longing this like a year ago, like 2023, on the same idea that, you know, they would integrate um, Mantle with Bybit, and it didn't appear. And then this time, like, you know, it was clear that when Ben was like going out and like going to all the Mantle events, and then like staking like his reputation and obviously his like image on this whole thing, I could really feel like, you know, something was changing. And obviously I wasn't the earliest to it, like Nemo from Hashed wrote an article way earlier than me, but
yeah.
yeah, like generally feel it. um And then obviously, like, I don't know how big of a TA guy you are, but like
Chart
mental,
looks good.
yeah, basically broke the eternal range at 1.4, right? It was like stuck in this like giant range, um, and then it like finally broke it, and that's like a monthly, like a 2-year break of the range. Yeah, and it just lines up basically, I feel.
Hmm. Do you feel like because do you feel like they saw what happened to OKB itself and they're like, oh fuck, we gotta, because at least my impression is that they're always a bit below the radar, right? That the whole
Mm,
BitDAO thing historically was a little weird.
mm,
I thought back in the days they were trying to siphon capital out of Bybit to this BitDAO vehicle in order to capitalize on the equity on the business.
mm,
And then they sort of move away from it for some reason. And then mental and they sort of, I don't know if they're exploring an IPO, but it seems like it almost seems to me the IPO path was off the table. And there's something that triggered them and be like, oh fuck, actually, let's just plow all the value into mental, but not tell people about it. So like, it's not a Bybit token, right? It's a mental token. They're not. I don't think they're gonna change the name about it, but like somehow something changed internally that they just went all in with this idea,
mm.
and there's stories through the grapevines of what happened. But I'm just kind of curious what you hear aside from Ben staking his reputation on this.
Yeah, I see. Um, well, I'm not I actually
Yeah,
don't know anyone from like Bybit or anything, so I can't like I don't have any like information on the end. But what I will say is that um I think intuitively it seems to me I was thinking about how the dynamics of equity and token plays out because like
yeah,
obviously Binance has like all of these vehicles have equity, and then like like you said, if they were looking to IPO, it wouldn't make sense because like why would people buy the token when they could buy the equity? But then like that's the naive thinking. I feel like the naive thinking is that there are two vehicles of liquidity, and one which is an equity vehicle has more direct line to the business. As a shareholder, you have legal rights and all that stuff, and so as a result, people won't ape the token. But I think the when I thought about it a bit more, I arrived at the conclusion that the exchanges have an incentive to like increase the value of the tokens because that sets like a floor for the equity. So if you were, for example, a $30 billion exchange and your token's worth like $1 billion, I think it looked like pretty bad.
mm,
Like they'll be like, okay, why there's like some like value being missed here. Whereas if you were like IPOing at 30 billion and then your token is like say 100 billion and people will be like, oh my god, this is like an easy like I don't know easy math 3x oversubscribed kind of play. It's really yeah, that was basically the conclusion I arrived at. Um, and then I guess like what
mm,
I'm hearing is like is really I don't have anything like concrete because yeah, I don't actually know the Bybit team, or like nor do I try to get like any sort of information. But I guess like I really like to I'm of the belief that in this industry, especially in crypto, actions like speak louder than words. And the past few months of like what Ben and team have been doing have really cemented this fact that like this is kind of a 0 to 1 movement. They're actually building metal because if you check the Bybit website, which I did recently, Singaporeans can't actually use Bybit, so I don't actually go on the Bybit website that often. But I went there and I saw like they have like this tab that says like mental, and then it says this is what you can do with mental, blah blah
mm,
blah. You can hold it. You have launch pools. You have all these like Bybit cards, stuff like that. Yeah,
mm. Okay, so they're like all in basically, on
yes,
the
it
idea.
looks like it. Yes.
Mm. Um, do you know how you came out at the number of $5 billion, and I saw you run the math towards
Mm.
it. Is it do you know how much the margin of the business is on that 5 billion? Do you have a
No
sense?
idea, man.
Okay, no idea.
I have no idea. It was
Okay.
really, really shoddy math. I wouldn't like put a lot of emphasis on it because like basically all I
Mm.
did was I took like the past like 7 days of trading volume and then I just like kind of averaged it and then I looked at their fee structure and then I just like okay let me analyze it like it's really not it's crypto math basically it's
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
crypto level of math, but that's
Mm.
basically all I could work with because like I don't know like yeah, I'm just an outsider basically. I don't know, and this is not like Hyperliquid, right? They don't like publish. They're not like I mean, it's a business. It's not like 100% transparent and all that. So I don't actually know the margins and all that. You probably have to
Yeah,
ask like Ben or something.
yeah. I mean, I kind of teased it out with Emily on the impact with basically like how much mental would be
Mm,
recouped into Treasury in this
mm,
process, and we kind of arrive at the same number, which is like 500 million ish, just about
mm.
maybe higher.
Yeah.
And that should move the needle. Although it would have moved the needle when it was like 3.5 billion. Now at 13, which is kind of what I'm getting to is the math here doesn't really matter all that much because it's not no buyback at that math is gonna move the token much higher.
Mm.
Which brings me to the next point, which is like, is there is there any like big catalyst you feel like they would you know implement that they haven't implemented yet that would just like drive the next leg of upside?
Yeah, that's a hard one because on one
Yeah.
hand, I don't like basing my thesis off of these things because I want to be convicted in something even if this doesn't happen because like
Mm.
if it relies so heavily on this happening, um, there's a lot of execution risk and there's a lot of like time invalidation risk where it's like okay, what if this gets delayed by like 6 months and all of these like it is hard to say. Obviously, the biggest catalyst everyone's like expecting is like some sort of like buyback, burn, or like
Yeah.
yeah. But like in my opinion, whenever people ask me about this, I'm just like I would still long it, even if they didn't do a buyback and burn. I feel obviously it caps the upside, but like it is still like a good token. I feel just because and this like kind of leads to my overarching thoughts on the market, which is like I might digress a bit, but basically it's like
Mm.
um, in the current state of things, there's like very little things you can long. It's like my list is like less than like 6 names,
Yeah, we
and
have the same names, dude.
yeah,
Everybody has the same names.
yeah, and so it's like I'd hold this. I can believe in it, and if they do buybacks, that's great for me. But even if they don't, like Bybit to me is like the Robin Hood of crypto. I feel like they're always moving fast and breaking things. Like as far as I'm concerned, they are the only exchange that has like you can trade stocks, you can trade what let me you can trade stocks, you can trade options, you can trade like forex, commodities, stuff
Mm.
like that. Um, I mean, I don't think Binance can do that. And then they also have like like Byreo, there's like RWA DAX, which
Yeah.
they haven't like done much with, but like I guess evidence all points to them like being in the arena and like trying things and breaking things. And my perspective as a user or a prior user before it got banned in Singapore was like it was actually it was a very good exchange that like had good user experience, um and like yeah, I think Robin Hood of crypto. I kind of like the analogy, like just like ship
Mm.
fast, like break things, and like yeah,
Do you feel like they'll keep gaining share the way that they are? Because now is a good opportunity actually with Binance, kind of.
yes.
Yeah.
It's hard to say. I like it if they did, and they have over the past few years. But clearly, Binance is a very hard, um, like competitor. Because like
Yeah.
I think the Sex versus Dex narrative, I actually expected the trend to like continue growing, but um even even okay, even if you take aside what happened in the last weekend, Sex Dax ratios have been falling like quite a lot since April, and obviously one is like the proliferation of DEXs. So like sorry, Sex Hyperliquid metrics. So it's been coming down, and so one you could attribute to the fact that there's so many DEXs now. So Hyperliquid share of the pie is smaller, but overall like this like narrative seems like or like this trend seems to have like halted for a bit, and which is like surprising to me because like I was actually like betting heavily on like the emergence of DEXs and all that stuff.
Mm.
So it seems to me like Binance is actually a really hard competitor. Um, but I think the space is big enough for like for them to like reach some sort like firstly the pie grows, and then secondly like they steadily gain market share. So overall they will still gain like a large like be larger from where they are today. But I don't know if I can say for sure like, oh, they're definitely going to overtake Binance. Like that's a bit of a stretch. I feel it's a bit hard to say.
Yeah. So it's kind of like 15% type market share and just chuck along kind of
Yeah,
thing.
yeah, basically.
Got it. No, and do you feel like a do do got it. Do you have a strong view on what they're going to do with the treasury that they have? Last I checked, it's like $1 billion or something.
Um, Wait, like what they're going to do with the treasury or how much treasury they have?
What are they going to do with the treasury? That's not MNT.
I have no idea.
No idea.
Well,
Okay.
yeah, I
Okay.
mean, yeah, but they haven't, as far as I'm concerned, I don't think they've done like a lot with it. They have like, mental rewards and all that kind of stuff, but
Yeah.
I don't
Hmm.
recall seeing any like huge, donation or any of that sort. So
Yeah.
I'm not sure. Yeah.
Because when you look at the buying of the token, right, it's like incessant. It started. I can tell you my side of my thought on this. Like it's none of this is validated anywhere, but it would feel to me that whether it's the clarity that Trump gave them, whether it's something cleared up on the journey of them capitalizing the business, or maybe if it's leadership change or one way or another, like something on the equity level gets cleared up, that all of a sudden they feel like, they could start really capitalizing the business, right? And the way to capitalize it may not be. It could very well be your hypothesis, which is maybe they're teeing up a massive equity raise, and they get pushback on the valuation, and then like, oh well, actually, let's just ramp up the token price before we raise the equity, right? Because you hear about Binance doing it, and you certainly know about maybe OKX wanting to IPO. So if they want to raise a big round of equity, the buyer looks at the equity at the token being like, it's only 3.5 billion. Like, I'm not paying 20 billion of whatever you're asking for.
Yes.
So they're like, oh fuck, like we got to do something, and then all of this makes sense, right? And then it also seems very clear right when they have turned a switch on, the news got leaked to some pretty powerful whales in Asia. Like you talked about, folks in the inside circle know about this. That the buying on MNT itself has been incessant and one directional, on central exchanges, and it's just almost nonstop bidding it all the way from 50 cents to $2.80. I just wonder what else they know that we don't. I almost the way that it's trading almost feels to me there's some kind of massive catalyst on the horizon, or kind of massive inclusion type of event that we don't know about, that might get announced at some point. I don't know if you like it almost feels like the run for a BNB. I remember very clearly from like $30 to like, $200, $300, $400 back in a couple of years ago.
Yeah. Wow. I mean, I was not here for that run. I would be very
Yeah.
happy
Okay.
if
Oh.
if it
Well.
10x
Well.
from here as well.
Yeah. Fair enough.
Um, no, but like I think you're right, but unfortunately I don't know enough.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I do I've been asking around, but like I'm not like super well connected um in like the deep Chinese circles.
Yeah.
Uh, but again, like I don't think you have to, because like it just kind of lights up. Like the way I see it, and I guess I can expand on my broader thesis. Um, is like basically crypto has like three different distinct categories you can actually invest into. And I stole this from a Chinese tweet, but I quite like the structure. It's like provenance, exchanges, and stablecoins. Provenance being Bitcoin and maybe ETH. Exchanges obviously being exchanges, BNB, Mantle, Hyperliquid, Aster, whatever. And then stablecoins being stablecoins. And then in each of these, you also combine like these categories with like what you need in a token. And so the past like 6 months have clearly showed us that tokens require four or five distinct things. One, the most important to me is like supply control, like um, in just the sense that VCs that are in early, and this isn't new, obviously, everyone knows this, but like they are not incentivized holders once they start unlocking. They're good for like attention and news flow and like TGE. You say, oh, this guy invested, and brings a lot of attention, but like once they start unlocking, they are like predatory to like liquid markets because like they are like net selling pressure. That's a big one to me because like almost every like 99% of tokens in the altcoin complex have this problem where like they just like tons of unlocks every day, um, and then like uh, yeah, so like Mantle, BNB, very heavily exchange control coins, and then like the second thing is like net buying pressure, like demand sinks, and obviously like Bitcoin, ETH have like ETFs, have like Tom Lee, and exchanges have like um, again what like the VIP tiers and like pro traders buying this, um, and then basically the like a few other criteria that's not as important, but these like you get the idea. It's like you just need
Mm.
something that makes money, something that grows, and something that your like token holders are aligned with. And so and then you combine these two categories of what makes money in crypto, and then what you need in a token, and you basically come to a conclusion that at least of right now, I feel like that I'm most comfortable positioned in like Bitcoin, maybe ETH, and then BNB, and then Mantle, and then obviously like you can play the flavor of the week stuff. Like I don't know, like today is like synthetics, Tau, ZEC like 2 days ago. But
Mm.
otherwise, you can also like, and you can be more maybe like venture out the risk curve a bit, buy some Aster, buy some Apex, buy some what like Hyperliquid, buy some Pump or these kind of things. But generally, I'm sticking with these three like Bitcoin, Mantle, and BNB. And so um, yeah, like that's basically and then like of these three, BNB has the most upside because like I mean Bitcoin's like $1 trillion asset. BNB, well actually BNB has had a massive upside, but it's also run 2x, right? It's like 140 or like
Yeah.
170 bill FDV now, which is like not very cheap. Yeah, and so and Mental is like is Bybit, so it's like it basically everything kind of lines up. I'm comfortable holding this. We're in a good place now where like people are also realizing that these are the only things you can buy and hold, and then like you also like have this like broader BNB narrative, and every time BNB goes up, like Mantle just goes up. It's like
Mm.
it's kind of moving in tandem right now. Yeah.
I could see that. And your 90% ownership by Bybit itself came from the BitDAO math, basically.
Yes, but
Okay.
honestly, I can't verify that. But yeah, it basically just came
Okay.
from me going through the BitDAO docs and being like, okay, how much do they own?
Yeah.
Um, it's kind of like going through like the original BNB ICO and seeing how much they own.
Mm.
Because like I mean, we both know this, but like they're not like extremely transparent with this.
No.
But again, like you know, it's something. You at least it's something.
Mm. I mean,
Yeah.
I think being incentive aligned and having no VC seller is pretty big. Because I remember or I thought that Dragonfly and like Pantera and Founders Fund like they all owned a bunch way back in the days, and they must have fully unlocked by now. So
Mm.
maybe the whole cyclicality was kind of them exiting out of position. And to some extent. I don't know. I'm just guessing. And now it's kind of unencumbered. It'll be fun to run the math actually on that if we can.
Yeah.
Do you have a price target?
I don't like having price targets, but
Yeah,
everyone in the office says $5, so I'm forced to say $5.
$5. That's
Yeah,
what is that exactly?
it's like a
That's
2.5x basically ish.
yeah,
Uh,
that's like $30 billion, right?
yeah, but I don't know,
That's
like yeah, I feel like yes, like in the short term we can run really hard, but look at BNB, right? And this is another point that I feel a lot of people don't talk about, but BNB like has been a genuine compounder over the years, right? Like basically it took a like 60% drawdown to the bottom of 2023, but it's basically at all-time highs now. And like which other token can you say the same thing? Like 99% of tokens of the altcoin complex that were launched in 2021 are not at higher prices than they were in 2021, right? Like I can only think of a few. Like Bitcoin is one, and then XRP is for some reason one. But like stuff like Uniswap is not one. Stuff like yeah, like it's so little.
hmm,
Like
I
even
see.
ETH is not kind of higher than it was in 2021. It's kind of near, but it's not there. Even Solana isn't. So yeah, so it's like BNB has been a genuine compounder, like a year over year, or like yeah, like a you buy and hold, and it actually goes up, which is very very hard to find in this space. And I feel like
Yeah.
this is the start, or this could be the start of a broader trend shift where these exchange tokens become genuine compounders in the space,
Hmm.
just because of their structural demand mechanics. People continue buying them, and obviously, assuming actually the exchange just keeps growing, doesn't blow up or anything, um, yeah, they just like continue growing in size, I feel.
That's a good argument. I feel like the argument feels like it's shifted. It's the beginning of the journey of the Bybit token, basically
Yes,
launching, right?
yes.
And I guess our mind will change down the road, but like you don't feel like they're going to shift it back to not accruing value, right? 'Cause
I
I
hope
remember
not.
I remember owning a fuck ton of BitDAO, and I'm like, oh fuck, they're not going to do anything to it, and then I just sold. Yeah,
Yeah, like I mean, I hope they don't do that, and that's obviously a risk. But like, I mean, I like to think that they won't, because like they start integrating all this stuff. It'd be pretty sad if they suddenly tomorrow went and say, "Hey, sorry guys, Mental is useless now."
rugged.
That would be a genuine rug.
Yeah. Do you, is there anything you want to see them do that you're like, oh man, they should have done it today?
Like Mental.
Yeah, like the like value accrual, because I think the launch pad thing is like, although I don't know how powerful it would be versus BNB, because it was like historically like 50% plus APY on BNB itself, kind of just airdrop to BNB holders, and if you just like dump them, because the stake BNB chart, like as executed by getting all the airdrops, dumping it, and then like buying back
Yes.
BNB, like it
Yes.
meaningfully outperformed, right?
Yes.
But is there anything like that you feel like they should have done? They've copied it pretty well already, I feel like.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like they are starting to do that. Like, oh, actually, no, they have been doing that for a while. The launch pool stuff,
Hmm.
with Mental, because I was actually looking at it today. Um, like they've actually had launch pools, but I guess like it's actually pretty small.
Hmm.
The amount of like Mental you can stake previously, and then the latest big one I think is Falcon Finance. So Falcon Finance kind of blew everything out of the water because it's like 64 million Mental, which is very very recent. Um, Whereas previous ones I feel like are like smaller. But I don't know, man. Like I'm not a. I'd say just like copy what Binance is doing. I don't actually
Hmm.
know what is like driving this crazy Binance price action, because this has to be way more than just launch pool, and um
Yeah.
yeah, like this has like the timing and all of that. I mean, I know that
Hmm.
there's a bunch of like BNB DATs and stuff, and there's that BSC, right? I can't remember the name of the DAT, but they say they want to own 1% of BNB, but like I feel like there's probably something going on.
Yeah,
Um,
it feels like that, doesn't it? Yeah,
yeah,
because
I don't know
that's kind
what
of
it
mixed.
is though.
Hmm.
Yeah,
What I could think of potentially is, so here are a couple of hypotheses, right? It's like one, maybe a DAT is coming. That's
yes,
very
that's
clear.
the most
And and
obvious
and,
one. Yeah.
and to your point, secondly, is, well, if it's like the BlackRock of the world and Abu Dhabi and like buying a stake in Binance and then Tether floating the $500 billion valuation in their business, you have to think someone also approached Bybit, right?
Mm,
And then maybe we'll get a sizable announcement of equity financing, but they will probably never list this thing. So it it, it could very well be that value accrual to the founders and everybody would be through this token,
mm,
and so maybe they're prepping for that, like the huge soundbite that's happened. Like maybe tomorrow we'll hear about like SoftBank buying like 20% of this thing at like this crazy valuation. All of that could be pretty good. Maybe $5. Huh? How long do you think it'll take to get to $5?
good question.
Yeah.
Um, Hard to say, hard to say. Like I guess it also comes down to like the market in general. Like 2 days, literally a day ago, everyone was like, "Oh my God, it's so over,"
Yeah,
and
it's over.
today we're so back,
Yeah.
which is crazy, right?
Mm.
Yeah, and it's hard to say. Like if the market was to be so over, like tomorrow, it'd be pretty sad. I
Mm.
don't know. Like my base case is like I'm willing to underwrite this for like the next few months, like 3 to 4 months, which is a
Yeah,
ridiculously long time in crypto.
it's a very long time.
Um, but yeah, like
Mm.
it's like the only thing I'm really okay with holding and think has decent enough upside in the long term. Because like what else am I gonna buy? I'm gonna buy like
Yeah,
not to shit on anyone's backs, but like there's like stuff like I don't know, like plasma, right? It's like down
yeah,
70%. Um, or like Aave. Aave has been like such a I don't know like it's basically all of these assets have kind of been rage bounding the entire year actually,
yeah.
and then
You know why? Because like funds in crypto are fucking poor. They
exactly
can't
yes
they can't just move these prices when they get to a couple
yes
$1 billion.
yes.
Um, uh,
I don't know if you looked at the Solana complex recently. I looked at it today because I haven't looked at it in a while. I was like, holy
no,
shit, some of these prices are kind of crazy. Like Jito is like $1.10, Radium's like $2, Jupiter is like 38 cents.
38
Drift,
cents. Wow.
yeah,
Yeah.
I don't know. It's like
Yikes.
yeah, a lot of these yeah, and like on your point that crypto like in general is poor, I 100% agree. And again, it's not a very qualitative thesis, but I like my coins to have like billionaire holders, right? It's either okay, it's really either you
Mm.
have like a insane buying pressure, or you control a lot of your own token, or all the people that hold your token are like rich people that don't sell. That's
Yeah.
basically it. Like if your
Mm.
token has like people that have fiduciary duties to return money to LPs and to make a return on their investment, they are inevitably sellers, and that's that's the sad thing. And like if you think a bit deeper or like about like how all these tokens work, like the Cerebro death, right? Jeffrey, he came back from the dead, apparently, to 2 days ago to start shitting on Binance, being like, oh, this is how much Binance charged us for listing on listing Cerebro on Binance. But like to his point, it was like I saw it, I was like, holy shit, like every token in crypto just uses their own token to pay for things, right? Because how else would they do it? And obviously, it's been going on for a very long time. But this comes to a huge disservice to existing token holders because like there's like clear misalignment here, where it's like I pay you for
Mm.
tokens to list. You're gonna sell my tokens. I'm gonna list on your platform, and then investors are also gonna sell my tokens. But I'm trying to get like liquid markets to buy it, and then it's like there are more sellers than buyers, basically,
Mm.
to
I
sum it
see.
up. Yeah, and
Mm.
then the people that eat are the exchanges, right? Because I like Binance says, okay, pay me like I don't know 1 to 10% of your token supply, to list on us, and so they sell the token, they take the profits, and then like every exchange does this, and like it's a good model for an exchange, and so bet on the exchange. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Mm. And MNT, like amongst the others, don't have this kind of structural disadvantage. If anything, it's the reverse. So
hmm
that's why you're bullish on it.
yeah,
I,
MNT BNB, yeah.
yeah, MNT and BNB. The other thing I think I do want to watch out for is there's like incredible strength on the token itself, almost in anticipation for something, or it feels like it almost feels like the insider plus whales know something that they're just like bidding this up in anticipation for it. So
MNT
I
or
think that MNT itself, yeah,
I see,
yeah.
okay.
Like maybe the time to maybe take profit or be more cautious is when like something kind of happened, and
Mm,
then it stopped going up. I don't know what that is yet, and you would know that, oh, that's the news that got front run.
mm,
But but before that happens, I think you just ride it, and maybe you don't have to sell it just because like if your expectation is buying BNB on the cheap.
yeah,
And it's kind of a rare asset indeed, because like how many exchanges in the world can you own aside
exactly.
from, right? I don't know if you ran the math on Upbit getting sold to a Naver. So we like,
I did not.
yeah, there are like 5 or 6 assets in the world that makes this much money,
Mm,
and now they're really caring about the token. So maybe you own it. Interesting. Okay.
mm.
Well, I think we'll chat on TG about this, because I think you probably just said on this. Do you like anything else? I don't know. Like we talked about BNB, but like, do you still like it here? It feels like it ran a lot.
Wait, sorry, which one? BNB?
Yeah.
I actually like it a lot.
Mm.
So my portfolio right now is MNT, BNB, and BTC. I also some
Nice.
Aster, but like Aster is a bit it's a bit hard to hold,
Yeah. Yeah.
considering it kind of dumped like 40% and then now it's up like 30%. That's a pain in the ass. Um, yeah, like aside from that, like I really keep saying this, but like the altcoin complex is really really um, garbage. I feel
Yeah.
like again, there's the flavors of the week, like, but like I don't know, everything else has like incredible misalignment, and it just feels like there's also so many of them um, that it's like really hard to like attention fizzles away, right? Like
Yeah.
for a week everyone's like super bullish on plasma, and then suddenly it's
Yeah.
like down 60%.
Yeah.
So it's very hard to hold any of these things for the long term. And I'm not, I wouldn't call myself a good trader. I like to hold my assets, and so like that's why my portfolio is mainly these three coins. I think
Mm.
the more interesting one is like Hyperliquid, because like I was thinking about it today, and like whether it was like a kind of good price to buy or like what I think of it. But like I'm leaning more to the opinion that like Hyperliquid is not the pristine asset that it once was, just because like
Mm.
you kind of rinse your top customers and then you kind of parade it around the fact that you made like 20 million off of their liquidations, right?
Yeah.
And then like the whole transparency shtick, I feel like is a double-edged sword. Like it's great for like building like a community and like showing like, oh, you're very transparent. But then like in events where you can see like clear insider trading or people with like news, okay, I mean like or like like basically people that seem to it seem to use Hyperliquid as the de facto venue to trade on like information that they know um, without getting caught, which I don't know if it's a great look for one. And then two is like the transparency on like who loses how much. Like you can clearly see like the leaderboard. It's like these guys are the largest losers, which again is not a great thing. Like imagine if you were to pitch this to TradFi, you're like, oh yeah, you have a leaderboard where people can see how much you've lost, and it's like I
Funny.
don't know, I don't know if that would be great. So
Mm.
like um, I don't actually have a position of or like strong view of where Hyperliquid is a buy or sell, but it's just like something I'm
Mm.
monitoring coming up because like on a more quality, like obviously they still make revenues, they still do 97% buybacks, which is great, but crypto is such a ideologically strong place. Like people have to be aligned with you in the ideological sense, in the emotional sense,
Yeah.
and it just feels like Hyperliquid is just not the super pristine asset it once was. Also,
Yeah.
there's also the competition with like Lighter and blah 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 blah. Yeah.
I think we're going through a phase for that asset where the dominant market share plus open runway it once was is now being put in question,
Mm,
where basically free marketing dollars is being showered by competition. Like very clearly, it's happening by like six other people, six other
mm,
players
mm.
that just like for the moment take share away from this platform.
Yes.
And until the subsidy runs out, like and people redecide what they want to where they want to trade on, this overhang on valuation and metrics will always be there. So
Mm,
I agree. I tend to agree with you. The second thing on privacy, I kind of feel like that's something they could probably implement, but
yes.
it comes down to how long it would take them and whether they believe in this,
Mm,
right, over time. So, but like those two things combined would take time for this thing to outperform again.
yes.
I feel like what would counteract this is kind of interesting is like the HIP3 kind of implementation. And when it does, getting the builder code and this perp dex thing being spun out, maybe the narrative push over time would be big enough to offset the issues that we have seen, the two forces that are negative. Like let's say if another venue that is targeting retail consumers open up, I don't know what that is, right? It's kind of like
Mm,
phantom scale, whatever that is. Like Twitter plugs into it. I don't know if they're working on it, but like that plus maybe like really large players open up a HIP3 kind of venue, so you can now start trading stock. It for sure is coming. You just don't know which vendor is going to open it up. You might get like a short-term spike actually into it, and people start getting really bullish. But all of that is under a backdrop where you start to really feel maybe a bear market is upon us. And this applies to BNB and MNT also. So maybe it's not just a Hyperliquid thing, but you start really questioning, are people gonna, maybe Hyperliquid is even more exposed to the trenchers that just get absolutely rinsed on this event. So like the recovery on those people are, on that volume is way slower, and maybe it takes a cyclical drawdown. So then all the things combined is people are waiting on the fence to see where the positive catalyst plays out. It's clearly, like you said, non-pristine, so it's going to get hurt on these three different ways, and it might just chop between 35 to like 50 for a very
Yeah.
long time.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you just rotate into like things that go up, right? It seems like
Yeah. Yeah.
maybe.
100% agree. Yeah.
Yeah.
Altcoin.
I-
Yeah.
But you would buy it at the dip, right? Like I think at the time when to really ape into this thing is, when you feel like the volume is at a trough, but the subsidy on competition is like bottoming out. They're clearly showing traction on new venues of growth that its
Yes.
peers are not seeing.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
then maybe you feel like we're in a bull market again. So like you just ape into this thing.
Yeah. Yeah. Pretty much. Yeah. Like I think Hyperliquid is like pretty. I don't know, fairly valued in this range from 35 to $50. It's like, yeah, hip tree is probably big, but again, it'll take time to like be. I mean, it's already been taking time to build, but even after being deployed, it'll still take time to get implemented by people. Yeah, and so I'm sure Hyperliquid will not go to zero, obviously. But on your point about like someone implementing perps, is like a lot of people have been talking about like Robinhood potentially integrate Lighter, which would be a huge like death knell to Hyperliquid, I feel, because like I mean, firstly, perps, well, Hyperliquid, a big value prop I feel is being like very like a free DEX for everyone to trade on. But if like perps and DEXs get implemented in the US, like they've also, I remember it was a few months ago, but they also said like, oh, Binance and Bybit exploring like inroads into the US, launching in the US and something like that. And then like if like Lighter gets implemented in Robinhood, it just like sucks away Hyperliquid Mindshare. That's like genuine competition. I feel so. It's like so you add it all up, it's like not super asymmetric here. It's like also the fact that every liquid fund is holding this, right? Like every
Yeah, that's
single,
true.
yeah,
That's true.
I cannot think of a single liquid fund that isn't holding it. So it's like we've kind of reached like peak. I don't know, peak holdership, peak buying. I don't know, like
Peak crypto native ownership,
yeah,
and
yeah,
it's a poor holder base, so
yeah,
so it's not going up.
yeah.
Oh, funny. Do you like pump here?
Uh,
It's a
Honestly,
tough one.
I'm pretty surprised that they've been holding up so well. Um,
Hmm.
Despite like everything that's been going on. There's like their revenue seems like to be maintaining at like one mil. Okay, it's come down
Yeah,
sharply in the past like 2 days, but like overall, like week on week, they still make like 5 to 10 mil basically.
yeah.
Um, which is pretty crazy if you ask me. Because I don't know anyone that's in trenches
Who's
anymore.
launching these coins and trading on it? What the
Yeah,
fuck?
no clue, no clue. But whether I'm bullish on it, nah. Like,
No.
yeah, I'm not. Like, just it really boils down to the fact, like you said, crypto people are poor. I don't like relying. Like, okay, if you buy pump here, right? Who's the marginal buyer, right? Like, it'll be some sort of like flavor of the week narration where everyone like kind of piles into the same thing. But beyond that, it's like I cannot see a huge um reason to like be giga long this thing. It just doesn't seem very asymmetric to me, I feel.
Yeah.
Um
I
yeah.
think what you're buying here, hopefully, I have a kind of a similar view, because if you're only buying on a cash flow today, it's a cooked asset, right? It's
Mm,
like you could buy anything else that is on 10 times earnings,
mm,
actually, such as Mental, for example. You could own that too. But this one feels really like I actually, it's really interesting to me because at least mentally, how I think about it is these are 20-year-olds who are really tapped into the Gen Z kind of 4chan-ish culture of how they feel about the world.
mm,
And if there's like one group of young founders that might figure it out, like these guys are amongst one of them. And what is that thing they'll figure out is entering into a world of nihilism, fueled by AI and robotics taking everybody's jobs, and then those with money kind of really crushing everybody that don't. Right? You can't even sell labor for money anymore. You kind of have to like hyper gamble, like you are, right, at a crypto fund.
Yeah.
Like, what is the way to make it? Is you want to get entertained and you want to have asymmetric upside, and a sort of entertainment social gambling app that offers people that would be the ones that have the most tick rate and the most penetration in this like wider audience that is going to emerge. And Pump kind of cracked it in one way first, which is this meme coin thing. But I would really think of them, they got to keep on cracking it. It could very well be live streaming, I don't know, but it could very well be like prediction markets in some form of fashion, or it's some entirely different kind of design. And it just feels like they're in this lull phase where sitting at $1 billion, $2 billion of capital, like it'll take them 6 months to figure it out. And that I think is the optionality that will get people excited about bidding this thing from 10 times earnings to like 50 times earnings.
Yeah.
Because no one's going to own Hyperliquid on like this fucking perp dex thing. It's like it is the layer with builder code, tap into everywhere in the world, trade everything. This like liquidity as a service thing, and that's what gives it that 30 times, 40 times earnings. And same thing needs to happen for Pump for that thing to work. And I think you just wait for that narrative to emerge, and if they nail it, you just plow your fund into this thing. It's my opinion.
Yeah. Makes sense.
Anyways.
I'm quite curious what you're bullish on.
Right here, dude. I can tell you my book. We own Metalpha, but you know already it's a stock. We're a 10% holder, fair disclosure, but
Nice.
they are the largest OTC derivative desk in Asia. Whenever Bitcoin does this, they just like start minting money. And a lot of family offices and funds in the space are interested, and they're like that first point. It's like almost like Galaxy status if you're in that family office world, but they're not at that statue yet, but like they're getting there. 10 times earnings, really growing. It's like cyclical. And the funny thing is, a lot of the last bit on this is all the financial institutions in China are state-owned, basically, and they really started capping everybody's salaries and bonuses. Like, you're not getting paid. And the top desk at Guotai, which is like the top exotic derivative agency desk in China, like literally the top, by market share, by P&L, the head of that team basically is the wife of the founder of Metalpha. And then they together built this thing together. And now she joined full-time and took the entire team over. So it's like basically the best exotics team in China kind of running this crypto business. Really interesting. And it trades like super cheap. Amber and Antalpha and shit trades at like 60 times earnings plus with like sometimes no earnings. These guys are really minting money. So I think that's cool. We still like it here. I own Robinhood. I don't know. We've owned it since like 60, 80, 120. It's pretty expensive now. I think people get onto the crypto thesis of Robinhood. I still really like it. I don't know if I would buy it here. I think one needs to brace for a 50% type drawdown when something breaks. With some Bitcoin, my thesis on Bitcoin is as good as yours. And then we have some hype and we have some pump. Hype we're just gonna probably sit on, like every fucking liquid fund owns it. And then pump, I think I've owned it. The average cost basis is 4 to 5, so it's one of the more cash flow generating businesses in crypto. So like the thing I just told you, we're just kind of waiting. We're just waiting for it. What do I want? I'm doing work on mental. I thought that's quite interesting. And then the other two things that are on my radar are cards and Layer Zero.
Layer Zero.
So cards, I pitched it. You know the thesis. By the way, at the pitch day, I fucking told people that that the pre-seed investor is going to dump on you. Okay, and if people bought it, they would have gotten wrecked. But hopefully they figure out the sort of they can spin the machine even faster. Layer Zero, you should really talk to the team and Brian and the 3Lao guys. There's a thesis to be made there about. I'm actually talking to Brian next week, but there's a thesis to be made there about how could they turn a 65% to 70% market share standard setter in cross-chain bridging with 1 basis points of fees right, into something that charges 5 to 10 to 20 basis points over time. There are really two factors here, right? There's like how much is cross-chain volume going to grow into the future, and then there's like how much fees can they charge. And yeah, I see someone. Well, okay, okay. The market share of 60-70% depends on who you ask and how do you categorize it. Some would argue, like the guys at Spartan, for example, is like it's not 65%. They actually don't make shit. So that's something we're doing work on. But if you buy into that story of cross-chain volume is going to grow meaningfully, and you can look at www.bridgewtf.com, a silo shell. If you believe in that thesis, that's compounding alongside crypto growth, and if you believe in the story of like 1 basis points going to 5 to 10, layer zero's $10 to $20 million of ARR could go up to $100 million or more, right? Annualized very very quickly if they can turn on that dial. And what Brian would tell you is there's a path towards it by really making Stargate the standard for cross-chain bridges, right? If you bridge from Phantom, Sol to like Ethereum, like USDC or something, and if they enable that bridge, invariably you'll probably always go through Stargate, and then once that happens, you automatically clip 5 to 10 bips, and then that's like $50 million of ARR on top. And then he told me something about the stablecoin vault that they're building with all the stablecoins out there, and somehow like Layer Zero is about to clip that interest rate that stablecoin companies usually clip, but they clip it for themselves. So if you get to like a billion of TVL or something, which is their target, you already make another $30 to $40 million. So when you combine all of those things together, you get to like from 10 million to like 100 million of ARR on a $1.9 billion kind of FDV asset. And if you further believe that this whole asset is of one like Adobe PDF, like standard setting kind of thing, like everybody use them, everybody will use them in the future. In 3-4 years time, they triple their volume, and you get to like 400 million, and then you like slap a 25 times multiple on it, you get to like a 5 to 10x. So it's interesting. I haven't heard people pitch it yet. They're like on a roadshow. Oh, and the last thing I would say is that they're on a roadshow, like pitching the story, and it's them going from dark to broad daylight and doing investor days and stuff. So you might see large liquid funds shilling it down the road if the metrics really start going one way.
Makes
I
sense.
think that one's kind of interesting.
Interesting. But who are they pitching it to? Like liquid funds?
Yeah, I was at Singapore, and there are like I was at 2 pitch events, and I see the team there just like pitching the story. It was actually pretty good. It was actually pretty good. But I don't think it's propagated yet, because I think they really just started, and like there's no buyback. Okay, the cash flow number is shit, and then like maybe the inside investors are not dumping, but like if it goes up a little more, they would. So yeah, I don't know. We're still doing work on it.
I see.
Yeah.
I see. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
It's a new one.
Damn. You didn't. But I didn't know you don't own like BNB at all. I thought you were a big BNB like bull.
No, we don't. I
Damn.
fucked up. Asian fund not owning BNB. What a moron. I'm stupid.
Yeah.
I guess. Yeah,
Have to.
it sucks. Yeah, I don't know.
But
Like BNB is cool. Like I would tell you how I think about it. I think look. I think they have a better fucking product than every other broker in the market. That's like maybe not Robinhood, but like if you compare it to like some HSBC bullshit, it's like way better.
Yes.
So if CZ is no longer like a criminal, and if they get the blessing from Trump and they broaden into like prediction plus stocks with their entire slate of product, like they're gonna clean up in all these countries, alongside Robinhood if they go global. So I think that's a bull thesis you really underwrite beyond just crypto itself.
Yeah. That makes sense.
So I don't know.
Yeah. It's also interesting how CZ's back basically. He was
Dude,
gone for a while, but he's back.
yeah. What do you think he's gonna do next?
Show Giggles Academy. Every time like he I don't know. I feel like every time he gets like under fire or something, he'll deflect it with the "I'm here to educate. Please use Giggles Academy," and he'll tweet something like that.
That's
No,
funny.
but like I don't actually know. Like I mean, I think this entire BSC season was very interesting.
Mm.
I didn't see it coming at all. And of course, like a couple of days ago, they actually enabled Chinese tickers on the API. So a lot of people
Hmm.
speculated like Bian Rensheng would be like the
Yeah.
Binance but like yeah, I mean that's like in crypto kind of like business lines. I feel like on your point, it would make sense for them to slowly start expanding through asset classes and I don't know, we'll see. There's a lot of talk about um like the DATs and like BNB Binance IPO, but I don't know. I have no color on any of these, so I can't say for sure.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would think they both, like Hui in particular, they came from live streaming.
Mm,
So I would think it would make all the sense for them to create a platform that is like more DEX oriented to like do these kind of things.
mm,
And I mean, we invested in Sidekick, the ticker's K in private. I mean, it's done horrendous. It's just like fucking downly piece of shit. But like, I mean, they really do live streaming, and if Binance can't spin it up that quickly, you know, the Four platform could partner with Sidekick for like to really get it up and running quickly. But I thought it's just such a straightforward, clean thing that they should be building, like this. And I get the sense that like kind of gambling prediction market plus like meme coin and live streaming should all be in kind of one, and maybe poly markets going there, and it's all mobile. You know, like I think, and maybe all the other platforms are going to follow the same path, doing the same thing. But then again, it's like too small. It's like too small dollars for CZ, so maybe that's why
mm.
they haven't focused on it.
Yes. Yeah. But
Anyways, um,
yes.
good chatting. We should go buy some MNT. Fuck yeah, didn't buy in the fund. Anyways,
Dude, but you talked to Emily. Wasn't it very bullish when you talked to her?
so like we talk more afterwards, and
Mm,
then I got some story about like what's kind of happening.
mm,
There are a lot of things she can't say on camera.
mm,
I It feels bullish, but I also feel like I kind of because that's when it started running from like $2 to 280, and
mm.
I'm like, fuck, I really missed this. So and then I was asleep when it went to one. So it's like back to $2. I don't know. I'm winning from my entry, and I'm perpetually missing it.
But like, what was your concern, I guess, when you talked to her, or like, yeah, like after talking to her?
Um, I guess I just don't want to be the last guy buying the bag when
Mm,
I know it's clearly being driven off by something I don't know.
I see. That makes sense. That makes
Um,
sense.
yeah, I just want to figure out. That's why I want to talk to you. Like, I want to figure out like what's happening, you know.
I don't
And I
know,
feel
man.
like there's I can kind of put a picture together. It's like, oh, like some management change and like
Yeah.
some unlock happened on the
Yes.
politics level,
Yeah.
and then it's like it's fucking go time. Like I can imagine, but I need something.
Makes
But
sense.
no
Yeah.
one's giving it to me yet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I was not like I don't know if it was a blessing or curse, but I didn't think that I was buying the I was in exit liquidity, so I just like blasted and
It's
theoretically
a
I'm
blast.
yeah
You know,
um
you know, it's funny. I heard about the thesis at 70 cents. It's
yeah
like when it started pumping, like somebody pinged me, and I'm like,
yeah
okay, I'll chill. And then before I
mm.
knew it, it was 150. I should have fucking top blasted. Yeah.
I actually was pretty late to the thesis I feel because I saw it really early, but I just kind of dismissed it because I was like, oh my god, mental again.
Yeah.
But then like at the time there were very few good names, so I ended up doing some work on it. And I was like, oh my god, I should have listened.
Oh my god.
And I published it actually my thesis kind of marked the top. I think I published it at 1.8 and it pumped to 1.9. But
Yeah.
theoretically it's up from then to now, so no longer the
Yes.
top.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes. Yes. Um,
but
$5.20 is the top by
yeah,
May 20th next year. Maybe that's the maybe it's a birthday gift from Ben to like his wife or something.
would be nice.
Okay. Cool. Yeah.
But yeah,
Good chatting with you, man.
good
Thanks for
chatting,
your time.
sir. Yes,
We'll get
thank
it
you.
up there tomorrow. Yeah. Thanks. Bye bye.